we are live. Welcome to The Wandering Isles, Flying Orc's flagship show. We get to say that now that we have multiple shows, right? That's how we say flagship. Is that how we say that? Did I say it all wrong? Did we just cancel the stream? Cancel the stream. That's it. We're done. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye, everyone.
Today we have some special. That's my sound now. I've adopted it, co-opted it. We have a special display later as we have hit some milestones. Thank you so much for spam following us on Twitch. That was mental. We hit 2 goals in one stretch, so we are going to be watching Mr. Dobbs and Mr. Rory eating Carolina Reapers today. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. John, for providing such things. We will be watching the boys eat the craziest of peppers. That will be in our post show this evening. For those of you who are watching on anything other than Twitch, the link will be up at the same time as you're hearing this. Anyone who's watching this on Twitch, it shall be in approximately 3.5 hours ish, I believe. Yeah. I'm joined today by Ryan as Madriana, Busy as Hatsu, Rory as Eos, Richard as Slate, and Kyle as Eldrin. At some point I have to put you guys in proper alphabetical order. It's just so complicated because Kian keeps going missing. We're missing Kian today. He may join us in chat in a little bit, hopefully, but I believe he's somewhere stuck in traffic. So,
sucks to be him.
Yeah, because now we get to bully Dash for a whole session. That's what we're doing, right? Just push him out of the
smart. If we don't do that anyway.
Yeah. Whether he's here or not. We'll jump into our recap with Mr. Richard. Take it away, son.
So, this is going to be, in bardic fashion, a poem. The Shadows After Saigonatoshi. A tale of night, of teeth, of eyes unseen. When twilight fell on war-worn ground, the weary band made camp unbound. Beyond the gates of Saigo's keep, they sought the grace of dreamless sleep. Bold Dash, whose hunger knew no rest, did take his bow and leave the nest. To woods he went with hunter's aim, to bring back meat and praise his name. He found the rabbits soft and fleet, and taught them gifts of fated meat. But lo, when arrows met their mark, the woods grew strange, the sky turned dark. For from the brush, in cursed array, the rabbits rose in wild dismay. Their eyes a crimson hellish light, they howled and shrieked with fiendish might. Fangs bared, they charged with Furry's name. On the hunter's soul they came. With curses, cries, and limbs aflail, Dash fled before the demon tail. Up high he climbed, an ancient tree, while shadows hissed below with glee. Yet Slate, the cold with iron face, stood by and watched with quiet grace. Unharmed, untouched, he gathered hide. The cursed beasts let him aside. And watching too with eyes aglow, a presence read from depths below. Dash saw them lurking in the trees, a whispering riding on the breeze. But none else saw, and none believed, save Eos, who with voice aggrieved did warn the hunter sharp and grim, eat not their flesh, or curse shall dim. Yet hunger is a stubborn guide, and pride sat heavy at his side. So Dash did feast, and feast alone, on meat that stank of earth and bone. And from the woods as silent fell, the ticks emerged a crawling hell. With countless legs they climbed and fed, upon his flesh they swiftly spread. Yet Eos came with Eldrin near, and cut the cursed things with care sincere. Their hands were swift, their blades were true, through pain the light of mercy flew. The fire burned as night grew cold, and stories faded, half retold. Each soul took watch, while stars did gleam, and wrapped themselves in thread of dream. But Eos stirred in realms unknown, where sea and sky together groan. She saw a boat on tempest tide, a creature vast the depths did hide. She saw the land of Wesleyan torn, by storm and flame an omen born. Then woke alone, her feet not near, the tent had vanished from her rear. Found in the dawn with eyes ashine, she bore the dread of fate's design. A Madriana fierce of flame, found rest at least from recent game, while Hatsu like the silent wind, did walk the dark and guard his kin. Yet Dash once more beheld the sign, those red eyes in the shadowed line, and footprints traced in ghostly dust, then gone, as if the wind were just. He stared into the endless trees and wondered what lay past the leaves. What omen dark had come to feast? What ancient curse had been released? The night grew still, the stars drew tight, and fate prepared its jaws to bite.
Hell yeah. Nice. Well done. I, for once, can do this. I gave you inspiration already. I put it on your sheet. I checked. You hadn't got inspiration this time. I put inspiration on your sheet. Well done. That was great. Well done, man. Yeah, we left the field at the end of the last session. I believe the Slart is in motion.
It's not a slot. It is a slot.
The adjustable
That's
Slart.
to wind you up.
Yeah. The raft is in motion.
No, it is the slot.
I gotta keep calling it a raft. No worries. We are in motion. So I ask, what do you boys want to do today? Just watch Kyle sneeze straight into the camera. That was nice. Can we get a zoom in on that?
Oh, please no.
Let's clip that.
Yeah, just clip it and zoom in really slowly. What do you guys want to do?
At this pace, Eos, how long do you think it'll take to get home?
I'm typically on ducky from 2 hours. Yeah.
Do you need to pre-warn them you're coming?
I'm reminding you that you're actually not going to Azazaki. You're going to Gatai, which is not your home. Your home is further than Gatai. I was told you guys are going to Gatai first, not Azazaki, because you have to pass through one to get to the other.
That's right.
So,
I had forgotten that.
Gatai would be before Azazaki, because if you were to look at the map, you go through Gatai and then across the little land bridge that leads to Azazaki.
So as that's how long it'll take to get to your home, how long would it take to get to Katai then?
Okay.
An hour and 45 minutes. You can just skip Gatai and just go straight to Azazaki. It's not my deal. I don't mind. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just going with what I was told.
No, that was my bad because I forgot that song.
I generally don't know who told Ken that, but okay.
We can blame Kian. He's not
name
here.
of location. 2 hours.
If you guys want to go to Azazaki, you can go to Azazaki. That's okay, buddy. You guys are in charge of your campaign. You do what you want to do. I was just told that it was Gatai next, so that's what I knew. You guys can go to Azazaki direct.
What happened?
I'm suddenly confused. A voice in the skies informed me of a different signpost, apparently.
We're just trying to work out exactly what the plan of action is here. I think we...
No, I mean, what happened in the last 12 hours?
Oh, you were asleep. Well, no, you were swinging through the trees.
I wasn't sleeping. I was thinking about the bee. And then I thought about a friend. And then my mind got dragged to somewhere else, I guess. What? Where did we go?
We're on the way to Azazaki?
Yeah.
Hatsu, did you eat forest meat by any chance?
No, I just remember going into the woods and I was thinking about Westlin, and then my spirit went somewhere I don't know.
Well, luckily for you, nothing happened that was particularly noteworthy other than Dash's seeing things. But
He didn't see the ticks coming, though, did he?
One notable thing was Eos did nearly paralyze Dash, but we thankfully did actually
Did
kind
my
of navigate around
vessel
that.
assist you?
Eldrin helped me remove the ticks from Dash's back.
you're...
No. Humans have so many ribs.
Wait, do you not?
Not as many as he.
Wait, how many ribs have you got?
8.
Total?
Yes.
So you're missing the lower two?
wasn't born with it.
You are more and more of a conundrum every day, yes.
So, rib count, you've less. Dash has more, but is the standard amount. But okay, Hatsu, do you need a power ball if you're not feeling okay? Do you need a refreshing
I'm
supplement?
good. I just feel like I've been away since months. It's a strange feeling. I've never been away that far.
For everything you've been through and everything that happened to Saigon Otoshi, there was bound to be a come down. Maybe it was just a really big one.
I also think my soul, how can I say? It's somehow connected with my grandfather. And it feels it has grown. I have grown.
Is that what the fiery dragon was about?
I think so. It felt as if my body doesn't have enough space to host all that energy that was pulsing through my veins.
Maybe you
It
need
was
less
hot.
ribs like Eos.
It wasn't my choice.
How do you know it wasn't?
It wasn't.
That's a
Shaz?
good point.
So,
Can you flaming dragon a person? Just curious. I would be wondering to see what it does.
I think that's not how it works. It feels more like it adds some precision and will. I think what you see is a manifestation of the will of my family line. I think that's what it is.
Well, if you're ever in
adds
combat,
more. It adds more sauce to it, if that makes sense.
it does kind of. All I can't get out of my head is just, if you ever decide to manifest that on somebody, can you please let me see it?
I try my best.
Scribbles in notebook.
I think there's still stuff to learn, but I can feel the heat. We'll get there, chosen one.
Feel the heat,
Eos.
really.
Eos.
Yes, Slate.
You know what you were saying about the eggs and how you could cook them? You said your home is, what, 2 hours away? Are there eggs there?
There would be. We would arrive just before the farmers go to market, so yeah, we'll be in time.
So are we going home for eggs, or are we going to the other place for eggs? Because either way, I want eggs.
I'm very tired. I need to go home.
what I want to know is, how do you eat yours?
Well, apparently Eos can cook them with her hands. I want to see that.
Put them in water. You just count to 170. Takes a while.
1170.
While you're holding it, you spin and you just go the entire time.
So is it like a competitive thing? Like 1-7, so you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, you're just
No, Aldrin, that's too fast. Each breath. 1,
1 Asazaki, 2 Asazaki.
2.
I enjoy reading, and sometimes it takes a lot of time to read through a good book. don't think I have the time, attention span, or patience to just count to 170 and say Sasaki at the same time.
You okay, Andrew?
What? There's so much going on. I have questions for Hatsu because I just remembered now since Slate said it with the whole sword thing. Like, I kind of feel like there was so much going on at the time. I just was like, okay, we gotta
Very stressful situation.
kind of gotta mull that over another time. But is that weighing on you, Hatsu? Like, this sword, this presence, is it weighing on you in a way that you're feeling pressure from it, or is it that you need to express yourself to be able to grow further, to be able to have this potential in you, blossom in a way?
My grandma Sakura once told me, when she graduated me with my first black belt, she said, I don't give you this belt because you earned it yet. I give you this belt to fill it out. It feels the same. It feels familiar. It feels like family. And I have a better understanding where my lineage is coming from. But I can't quite fill it out yet, I guess.
After hearing exactly what was said there about the belt and filling it out and who gave it to him, Slate is noticeably looking at the ring that he was given.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ring. I don't know if you're waiting for a description, but it is a beautiful ring. I believe you put a picture in.
No, I'm just pointing out that there may be correlation between what was said there about getting something and growing into it and not fully understanding its meaning or its purpose or whatever until later. And that strikes a chord, and, Slate would be, like I said, visibly looking at the ring, lost in thought.
The striking motif on it is that it contains a sakura blossom, a plant. Obviously the representation of Saiga no Toshi is obvious, but the main takeaway really is that I think, at least for Slate, all of that relates to you as a person as well, not just as part of your journey, but your entire being. Everything you're doing equates to that as well.
As Hatsu would probably observe, he's looking at his ring fanatically, like trying to get what he's looking at. He charms in with a, do you remember when you were covered in red cherry blossoms?
Of course.
That ring might help you to remember that your core will always be that pure cherry blossom if you choose to stick to it.
Just take out my notebook, thumb back a couple of pages and kind of cross something out and just write something down, close my notebook and put it away.
Do not kill Hatsu.
When we tumbled and our hearts are shattered, we sometimes fall for the whispers of the dark. But if you remember your core, your very most beautiful memories, the most beautiful people you met that touched you deeply, there's no force that can change your very core. Now you can.
It's a nice morning, and there's no rain or anything, but there is that smell of petrichor that indicates that in the near future it may rain. It doesn't matter because this Slart's a convertible or whatever the hell you want it to be. It's it does a great many things. It can also just be a sled or a cart. It's Optimus Slart. But it there's a nice solemn kind of quiet moment as you all dream of different things. Hatsu, I know for you it's been a burden lately. You don't know about your family. Even Boreal is just in the wind. You don't know the fate of the Toshitsugu clan. But as long as you live, so does the clan. Answers will find their way to you when the time is right. And there's a moment of just obvious acceptance from what you just said about facing the future rather than being stuck in the past. You've put enough time on it, and you've moved up and moved on. Eldrin, you have your own curiosities of what happened in Saganatoshi, what happened prior to just really recently, like when prior to arriving at Maleficums, you had many encounters of just things that frightened you. And there's some things in your pocket that are weighing down as well. Your fate's a little unclear. And Adriana, your encounter with the book not so long ago, just yesterday evening, I guess, was tumultuous at best. You have a lot to consider, a lot to think about. Your journey is kind of laying itself out in front of you in a way that, in one regard, I would imagine you were quite ready for when you set out for Maleficums in the first place, but in another regard, it feels more real when the pieces are visible. Slate, there is just an overwhelming amount of anonymity and ambiguity. Whether or not you know what's to come for you or what has come for you is mixed. Your eyes glance towards your backpack where you can see just barely the cover of Athros' book. But what that means is just, is this a key to a door? Is this a problem? You're not so worried about it. But Eos, you hear Westland in your head. You see visions of things that you hope won't come, but feels more and more real every single time you see it. But as you pass Gatai and reach the landmass that is leading home, it's hard not to feel a little bit of fear, perhaps, but a lot of joy. Because just down the street, a few doors in, is a little cozy bookstore, with a little cozy undercroft, and a cozy little house next door, with two wonderful neighbors who love you for who you are. It's an exciting time. When you're passing Gatai, what you guys can see is tents and a few wooden buildings and structures. They're mostly built into the trees, either just on the ground, tucked in, or built up into the actual trees themselves. It doesn't look very large. A few hundred people at best live here. It's quite small, little village. It seems more like something that was built onto Azazaki rather than something that's on its own, but it does come with its own name. It's just far away enough to be independent. But it's small. It has a lot of growing to do before it becomes anything of major note or iconic nature. Asazaki, however, it is bigger. This is a well-built town on an island that looks like it's been there for a long time, built into the structure and core of the nature of this island itself. Whilst there's plenty of water around it besides this landmass that leads here, the things that catch your eye are that there aren't many like docks and like ports and all sorts of things that you would expect from something like Saigonatoshi or Anbaden or Alperoth or Virtes or any of these other places. This is quite isolated. It was built for that exact purpose, and it's evident. The landmass that you're using to cross as a bridge is barely even wide enough to support the slart. It's very difficult to get in or out of here without being spotted or noticed. It's not an easy swim. It's not like you can just fly in, most of you. But it is something that stands out as quaint, might be the best word for it. As you cross the bridge and enter the town, Eos. At this point, you'll have to guide Hatsu, who is on the horse, as far as I know. Where would you like to go?
Hatsu,
Hi.
if you guide us down along the shore, we can put the Sark behind the bookstore. Out of sight,
Left.
out of mind.
Left or right, sure.
Left, my friend.
Hi.
Yeah!
Horses just rear off and kick you guys into the water. The main thing as well about Azazaki is that everything that is built like mostly out of wood and very little stone, things that they can harvest from the very nearby surroundings. The main attraction, as it were, or the thing that pulls your eyes, that on top of a peak hill is a form of lighthouse, and at night that would clearly light up the sky in a nice way. The rest of it, though, is mostly made of wood. It has like little flags on the buildings. There is like glass and structures in the door, but it all looks very old. Looks quite weathered. It's near a source of water, a body of water, and that clearly has its impact on this place. It needs to be tended to quite often to make sure that the wood doesn't rot and so forth. But it's a quaint little area. Mostly known for fishing. You pull the slart up behind a building. Small little building that has a little sign that hangs down on the front that simply just says Roshi's Bookstore. Your journey is over. You have arrived. What do you guys want to do?
Eos will immediately get off. Pull up her cloak. Make sure it's around her as much as possible. And she'll help Hatsu off. Kind of dust him down from the ride. Put her hand on his shoulder and say, you took me home. Thank you, friend.
I mean, the horses did, but you're welcome.
Check on Adriana, Slate, I'll try to make sure they're okay. And guide them around the back.
Okay.
I tie up the horses and then collapse the slot, put it back in my backpack. He got a fire dragon sword. And he got a ring. And all I got was this lousy slot.
The box falls out of your backpack into the water and is never found again.
It's not about the thing, Adriana. It's what you made of it.
I suppose it helped.
Wait till you find the submarine function.
Oh?
You open the door, Eos, to hear that familiar bell ring. You smell the books, the candles burning, and a fresh pot of tea. The front of the bookstore appears to be empty. No hostess in sight.
Okay. Eos will take off her shoes. So she's walking around in effectively her wrappings that go down all the way to her toes. And she'll kind of suggest to the others to do the same.
I hope you all brought your wrappings.
You guys put out your shoes in the, like, selling area?
Mm-mm. Around the side, the eaves of the house, they cover the side entrances. You can put your shoes anywhere you wish. I put mine here by the door.
Not to be rude, Eos, but is this a customary thing? Is this a necessity thing, or do I have to take my boots off?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't want to seem rude. It's just
That's fine. All customers leave their shoes on.
thank you.
I was going to say it a different way. I was going to say it's been a long time since we've... Well, these feet, these shoes, they've been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, and I'm not sure you want some or all of us to take them off.
They could smell. I agree.
Oh.
I would rather the aroma of the tea to...
Maybe a
The
freshen
room
up
and-
first.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, it looks like somehow there's a pot already here. My friend, sit down. Do as you wish. I'll be back in a moment. Yes, we'll head off in a kind of a hurried wander around the store, just kind of checking things visually and seeing if there's any sign of her mother or dad.
Yeah. Where are you going to look?
So first she's going to obviously go towards the front. There's a word for it. The place of the cashier. That thing.
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
that's where you guys came in, but there was nobody there, yeah.
Oh yeah, my apologies. Okay. Don't run around the back. So yeah, she'll do that. Then she'll head upstairs.
You head upstairs and there's nobody there either. It's quite quiet.
Just kind of hand against the frame of a door and just a couple of taps. Fair enough.
Mhm.
I head back down and sit down with the gang for a nice cup of tea.
Sure. You pour some tea for everybody, yeah?
Yeah.
Just so you're aware, Roper, although I am perusing the books and stuff, and obviously with the guys, I am on super high alert as to anything happening or going on around us and stuff.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Could I assist? Because I was going to say, not that I'm uber aware of everything, but I would say that I would be looking at the books, but pacing around, because just back and forth by the books. If there's like a stationary bookshelf somewhere along a wall, I would be looking at them, but looking around just to see what's going on. She's clearly looking for family or someone. They're not here.
Yeah.
So, the ground floor itself serves as the shop itself, filled with creaking wooden shelves and stacks of books in weird chaos order. There's collections of obscure histories, personal journals, and just kind of stories of tales of old.
That was a 16 total, by the way.
And then
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
You rolled advantage, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Grand, okay, I won't roll then. Cool.
the floors are very creaky. Everything's very creaky.
Hmm.
Is it usual for this time of day for no one to be here, Eos?
It is very early. We're not... Well, it's not technically open yet. It's a bit odd, but I haven't been able to really communicate with my mum in a couple of weeks.
I'd like to go outside.
Everything that's been happening.
You head out.
Just based on the image that was shown, I'd like to just kind of stand at the door, looking along the road that we came, looking up to the left of where the lighthouse would be, and just around to see, do I see any other signs of people around or any signs of life? Do I see any kind of tracks coming to and fro the shop or anything like that? Are there, not to say I'm actively looking for any signs of struggle, but do I see maybe fresh marks that are on the floor from maybe someone only leaving?
Sure.
Anything like that?
You went up by yourself, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you get kidnapped. So Eldrin's gone. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll get you to make a survival check for me, please.
I'm about to make a comment about that, but I'll do that after this.
I actually started sweating. Like I was like, oh God, here we go.
It's my favorite thing to do to Kian. It's just to ask him random ass questions about what he's doing.
It's a 23, sir.
23? Yeah, I mean, people clearly live here. There are footsteps, like in the dirt, in the paving area, we'll call it. But realistically, not really anybody in sight.
I'm gonna stay outside, but kind of stay around by where the horses are, where Eos
Sure.
left her shoes/boots, and just keep an eye out for any potential kidnapper, or friends.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, what's the best way to put this? You keep an eye out on things. You sort of lean against the wall, not trying to bring attention to yourself, trying to be inconspicuous. That's the word I was trying to remember. Trying not to drag any focus to yourself or any really attention. Yeah, I'll come back to you in a few moments. Those of you that are
On the left
inside.
side.
Mhm. Good.
Oh, just for Eldrin's sake, if he's toddling around out the front, down the left side, kind of sheltered within the eave of the building itself, you'll find a big ass stack of firewood and a kind of makeshift stable for what you probably would assume to be docking.
Thank you.
Adding to that, it no longer looks makeshift. Actually looks like quite a nice stable.
That's really nice. Write that down.
While this is happening, I've just taken the time to take stock of the room, because I can see everybody else busy about their business, going to and fro and looking around and doing things. It's been a while since I've been to, I guess it was the Arcanum Library last time we had something like this, and obviously ES has such a passion for books, which
I didn't know that. Does she?
can only assume has come from here.
Yeah.
So I'm very keen to look at the different sections, you know, and obviously upon looking, I know that there's obscure histories, personal journals, and stories of old. So I'm just sort of making note of the type of genres, the type of titles, the types of different things that are there, and just going section by section, row by row, just taking my time, almost like a museum. I'm not particularly touching or rifling, but like a museum, taking time with each painting as opposed to just walking through. But as I'm doing my lap, and I'm anywhere near the door, I'm going to say to Eldrin, seeing what he's doing, and something that I spent a lot of time doing, which is, you know, standing out to blend in type of thing. I'm going to lean out and just say to one of the horses, if Eldrin gets kidnapped, make a sound, because I know he won't, and then just carry on with what I'm doing.
Ducky gives a solemn nod.
As he says that, if you can imagine, like, he's kind of popped his head out, and I just have like kind of like a handkerchief kind of thing, or maybe I have just like a piece of cloth, and I just kind of like just try to like slap him with it. I heard that.
I mean, that's good, because I wasn't whispering, but if you didn't hear it, I would assume you're definitely going to get kidnapped again.
As you're taking a look around, something that stands out to you is space isn't distributed here quite correctly. The building looks bigger outside than it is inside, and Slate particularly would take note of that. But it is jam-packed with books. Like, there are books here, there are like texts and scrolls and poems and all sorts of stuff. There's like, I don't mean scroll in the magical sense, that can be confusing in D&D. I mean scroll as in like literal scrolls of text. There are sections about history, there are sections about religion, there are sections about like different things. There's like what did I call them in the campaign? It wasn't graphic novels, it was fable glyphs. I call them fable glyphs because I have to change everything because that's just me. Fable glyphs, which are like comic books basically. There are different things all over the place here that, like, it's hard not to find something you're interested in. Yeah. Eos, it's kind of probably a nice thing for you, maybe. I don't know, you can tell me, but I'll ask you instead. Is it a nice thing to see your friends so interested in the bookstore?
It's a nice feeling, but there's also a weird kind of embarrassment. You don't want them to, like, obviously if your friends first time in your house, you don't want them to see the freaking photo of you with a lollipop it when you're like 3 years old.
On the contrary, it's all I have it on the front door. You can't come into my house without seeing it.
But yeah, she's sitting down, chilling out. She's kind of watching Slate as he goes around, and of course, I'm sure Madrian is visually perusing as well, and Atu would be checking out while he's sitting down. So might as well tell you, the way this place is lit, no sign of electricity. It's a bizarre arrangement of mirrors in the ceilings and on the walls, just to get daylight in and bounce it around.
Eos,
It's like,
I have a question about this collection.
absolutely.
Obviously, your love of books came from here. So clearly some of these books you've read several times, if not hundreds, by your own estimations, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do with the books when they fall into disrepair?
Oh, that's a task, and thankfully I have had so much time on my hands. I try and repair the bindings if I can. It's a very tedious task. If I can't do it, then my mom will come in and help. It's very difficult. Some of these books are incredibly delicate. You don't want to break it instead of fixing it. But it can happen.
But you sell these books, you don't borrow them out to people, right? It's not like a library.
No, it's a little bookshop.
Mm-hmm.
Slate looks at his hand and he has a little tremor in his hand. I'm going to turn to Eos and say, as a man of medicine, and I'm going to look in my bag for a second and pull out, I have like thieves' tools and a couple of other things. I have string, which you've seen. I'm going to pull out a little needle and a few things. I'm going to say, I need some practice in stitching. So if you have some books that need repair, I'm happy to help. I may know a few things about that.
Oh. Atu and Madriana, are you finished your tea?
Yes.
Yup. I know you didn't see, but I finished it.
Of course, Atu. My friends, I think your skills will be more useful downstairs, Slate.
I'm going to walk over to the guys to the table area and just uncharacteristically tidy up a little bit of what's there. And I'm going to lift up, if I presume there's a tray, because normally things are served with, cup and saucer and tray. And I'm sure all the accoutrement is there. So I'm going to stack everything up as carefully as I can to make sure I don't break anything.
Don't use words like accoutrement and Azazaki. You're going to raise the rent of this place. Be careful, man.
So I'm going to turn to Eos, and as a gesture, because I haven't taken my shoes off, I'm trying to be a good guest in other ways. So I'm going to, with the tray, sort of like, where do you want me to put this? Like, is there a counter? Is there a back room? Is there a kitchen? So I'm just sort of like gesturing, where do I leave this on my way to what you said downstairs?
I'll just put it next to the sink. I'll come back here in maybe an hour or so and I think
So
it's okay.
in the way you gestured, I'm just going to go over towards the sink and start separating everything. I'm going to be taking out things like the tea leaves and putting them in a pile. Eos, do you do composting here?
What is compost?
Do you use the tea leaves for plants, for growing? Do you use it outside? Do you reuse them? So I'm going to put all them into my pocket, into my bag, and then I'm going to pour out the water and the few bits and pieces and kind of just leave them semi-clean, put it all down, and then walk after Eos and be like, okay, downstairs.
Were you ever a chef, Slate? Very skilled.
He was in the school.
That's true. And as we learned, apparently I've lived a lot longer than I thought I had. So it just seems that I'm one of those people that when I try my hands at things, I find it a little easier than most.
Or maybe you're just very good with knives.
That's a different story, but probably also true.
Eos will walk the gang towards kind of the back of the bookstore. There's a kind of a narrow walkway between two big bookshelves. And we'll come to a heavy bronze and dark wood slatted gate.
Oh, is this your vault?
There's much more in here than just money. I think there's knowledge. And I'm so happy that I can finally show you this.
I think Remington did also store knowledge in his vault.
Let's see. Eos will put her left hand against the gate and kind of wait a moment.
Yeah, it'll click open.
Okay. Just lets the gate open itself in its own time. And
Eldrin, you glance in and notice that your friends are moving into the back of the building and sort of vanishing somewhere in case you wanted to join.
Yeah, I suppose I give one more kind of glance around, and if I don't see anyone, I'm heading in with them.
Yeah, no worries. Just sorry, Rory, to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure that in case Colin
yeah,
wants to.
absolutely, yeah. Understand.
Good.
So you look downwards, just in a pit of darkness. This black stairwell goes winding down. It'll take us about a minute and a half to walk down.
I'm going to stop dead in my tracks and put my hands out to the walls. And I don't know, whoever's behind me is going to walk into me because I'm going to say, guys, you're doing it again. I can't see shit in here. So I'm going to reach forward for whoever's in front of me, trying to find shoulders so I can follow them down without falling, because otherwise I don't know where I'm going.
She put herself in front of you.
Perfect. So just very gently, just resting my hands on your shoulders respectfully, but just to get a guide of where to go or not go and the speed. And but every time you step down, I can tell how deep the step is, so I know.
As you do, you lean on one hand against the wall and hit the lever that says "Super Happy Fun Slide," and the stairs just go in and just like. Shh.
Would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Yeah, you guys make your way down into what is the undercroft of this building, which is substantially deeper than you would have expected, and here are a myriad of books as well. They look different, darker, leather-bound, maybe more valuable in some capacity, or maybe more meaningful. I would like an individual perception check from all of you when Ryan is done here.
Eos, is this a front for a legal business?
I don't think it's illegal. This place has been here for eternity.
I just wonder why all the cloak and dagger of an undercroft. So I got a 19.
Perfect. I just need
7 for Slate.
Eldrin, I think, as well.
Yep, sorry. I wanted to ask, are we still in darkness?
No, it would have candlelight down here, I believe, in a chandelier. Am I correct in that? Yes?
Yep. And something else.
Okay.
Ah, yes, the flamethrower.
No, the reason why, because I was going to cast light if it is still dark down here. There's no harm anyway. Just
it's
brighten up the
illuminated.
place.
Sure, no problem.
And then you mentioned a perception. Sorry. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, almost good. 12.
So we'll start with the Matriana since she rolled first. So you got a 19, was it?
Yeah.
The stone here strikes an eerie resemblance to stone you would be familiar with in Verdwar, particularly in the underbelly of Verdwar. The way this was crafted and made is not at all like you would see in the buildings above. There is definitely something more to this place. A facility like this, as you, Ryan, have already kind of sussed out, is generally not used for storing books. It is used for hiding things or for moving things or tunnels or whatever subsequent thing, you know?
This was a moonshiner's house, right?
Right, that's kind of where I'm getting at, yeah. So there's something additional to this that's just like a little bit strange.
Sketch.
Yeah, so like your initial reaction is pretty much what I would have given you anyway, based on the 19, but just to develop on that more, like you recognize this kind of building, especially in a place like Verdwar. Yeah.
With that then, is there any markings within, like, etched into the walls, etched into a brick, of clans or particular families or anything like that?
I would say make an investigation check for me, but I'll give you advantage because it's a good question.
Like, even if they're not operating out of here now, it might have been a particular family in the past, kind of thing. So that's an 18.
18. It's not of a clan. It's not of a family. There are two markings on the wall. One almost in the shape of a compass. And further down the wall, much further, near a small table in the corner, sits a shape of a symbol that you once saw in the caves when you got down into Volcanus. You saw a totem there with that symbol.
So this is the unnamed one. Without letting on to anyone else, Madriana will just give Hatsu a nudge and very discreetly, like, have a look, kind of thing. I like to think that Hatsu's observant enough that he'd probably understand what she's trying to tell him without her actually having to verbalize it. So, yeah.
You just kind of do the nod. Yeah.
Not even the nod, just like
an eye glance? Yeah.
No, well, you can't see my eyes. It's more of a case of like a little like finger wag that I know he would see that nobody else kind of would, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Everyone's kind of distracted. It's easy enough to get away with things.
Yeah.
Like that, so yeah. Fine.
As we get down to the bottom of the stairs, Yus will put out her hands and welcome to my home.
You live
Also,
in the
this is
basement?
I was asking the same.
Yeah, this is the Undercroft.
Oh, and where, like, is this also the room where you sleep?
Sometimes. I have a small bedroom upstairs in the house.
Oh, so it's not like you were hidden down here.
No.
Okay.
No, my mom always kind of tried to have me somewhere upstairs when customers are about. People used to call me a little grape.
Not
Don't know why.
not trying to be rude, Eos, and I hope you don't see it that way, but is your mum like you?
No, she's far more beautiful.
You're very beautiful yourself, but I mean, as in, Does she share your skin tone, your features?
Ooh, at that point, I think Adriana may notice that Eos is not her usual stature or color.
What, you've changed since we've been in here?
Her skin is now grey. She has a sharper focus on her face. She's standing a bit taller in herself.
I suppose the question still remains, though. Is your bloodline more from your mother or from your father?
I believe it's more from my father. Yeah. My mom, she's exquisite, but she doesn't have these traits.
Did you change the color on purpose?
No, this just happens when I come down here. The air is enriching.
So the deeper you go, the darker you get.
This is the only floor, but as you come down the stairs, if you were to see in darkness, slowly happens.
Interesting. Do you feel more powerful?
I feel like I can spend eons down here reading and learning.
Do you feel your magic is pulsating more?
I feel relaxed, like when you're in your bath. You're soaking for so long, you forget you're in. Yeah. Never thought about it that way, Hatsu.
Interesting.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The color Eos is now, would that be the same, if not similar color that my eyes have went when holding my symbol?
Yeah. Not unsimilar. Dark purple's dark purple.
Great.
Okay. Okay.
While this is
Feel any
going
different,
on,
Hatsu? Sorry, Richard.
No. But I feel more comfortable in the dark, I have to admit. But I think, looking around here, what kind of books did you read down here?
Down here, there's books that to me will never sell, or hope to ever have to sell. This is where I learned about some of the people up above. But obviously, as the evidence has shown, humans are not what I really thought they were.
Is there also books about sources of your magic, of your kin?
Seems to be. That's how I understood what they can and cannot do, these things that I can do.
Have you managed to find out I don't want to say a name for your kin, but you understand what I mean. Is there a place where you hail from originally? Is it like me? I have no idea what the fuck I am. I know what my mother is, I know what my father is, but I don't know what I am.
Come with me, of course. Eos will guide, hopefully the whole gang, kind of towards the center of a stone pillar. There is a little kind of a shelf carved out with a maroon cloth. And sitting on the maroon cloth is a glass case. And inside of it is this kind of beautifully grey leather bound book on a little stand. This is the dossier of me, kind of my legacy, Tintriok.
When Eos says that name, we have heard that before, but when Eos says that, is there any recollection of that name? Especially as when you consider where I went for my father.
Yeah, I can make a history check.
Behold my stuff.
It's all on fire.
Yeah.
It's a 15.
The only real tie to Tintriok that you're aware of having would be Eos.
That's fair. May I peruse, or?
Anyway, Judah, I'd be honored.
Just eat Doritos and like turning the pages of books with like dust everywhere.
No!
As,
great care. Opens the glass case.
As my gloves have seen more than their fair share of action of late, would you have something maybe softer for me to handle this with?
Of course. Eos will take off the scarf that was given to her by Lissa, and she'll kind of put it on Emergiana's hands, just so there's a little bit of an extra protection to the papers.
I want to actually probably look through the book. One, to gain the information from the book that I can get, but I also want to see if there's any couple of things. One, any hidden pockets, pouches, anything within the bindings, within the book cover itself. I want to see if there's any hidden coding within the way it's written. And I also want to see, like, try to learn what I can from it, basically, the 3 different things.
As this is happening, Slate leans in like super close, like his face right beside yours. So you're like, what? And I'm going to put my hands next to yours and say, the gloves are super important. You don't want any filament from your skin touching the pages. And if they're down here, it protects them from the light. Even breathing on it potentially could damage the pages. Look, I know a little something about this. This is how you need to do it. So I'm going to kind of assist you and then start running my hand like Braille, showing you how to touch the pages and whatever, and then pat you on the back. And then I'm just going to step back from the group, and I'm just going to nod to Eos respectfully and say, Eos, there's something I'd like to do if you don't mind.
Of course, Slate.
And I want to openly cast Minor Illusion. And in doing that, I want to cast a fire in my hand, a small fire. So something that illuminates and I can see physically, because I know it's dim, but I know Eldrin has cast light and there is light. But I want to slowly retrace my steps just to the staircase on the other side of the room. And what I want to do is use this light to see the steps, and I want to go one step at a time. And I'm trying to identify the moment that there's a change between the 2 levels, because after hearing Eos's description, the thoughts of Slate are around things like, you hear stories about things like, other dimensions, other worlds, heaven, hell, all these things we've heard about but no one has encountered. And Eos talking about like a timelessness down here. Because I'm aware of magic, I don't know how to test for it. So in Slate's scientific thinking, that the air will change or that something will change, and that either the flame will flicker, dissipate, something may alter between the 2 stages, wherever, if there is a barrier that's not physically seen, that it might show a time has dissipated or something, because the spell lasts for a set time. And if time is different here, when I cross that barrier, it will counter the spell, because technically it's been too long concentrating and things like that. So I'm doing a scientific experiment to see what happens to the flame as I slowly walk up the stairs. So Emadrian is doing her thing, and in the meantime thereafter, I'm just really slowly, inch by inch, using this to explore the stairs, planning just to turn around and come back down. So I'm doing that in the background. Everyone can see me doing it. I'm not hiding it. And I've asked first, so I'm not touching anything or interfering with anything. So that's what I'm doing while this is going on.
I'd like to go with him.
Awful timing for a gas leak, but that's absolutely fine.
It's only an illusion, it's not real.
I can smell it though.
Is the flame with us in this room?
For sure. What's the best way of doing this? Yeah, I mean, you retrace your steps. Sorry, so specifically condensed, what are you looking for? Sorry.
Well, I'm letting Adriana do her thing with the book first,
Okay.
and then so I'm just doing this in the background. So I'll let you resolve that, and then we'll come back to me. It was just I'm stepping away to do that, so I'm not quite present for the book scenario.
Gotcha.
Same.
Okay. Adriana, I'll start with you then. So what are you looking for in the book, Adriana? What do you want to know? Sorry, you did say a little while ago, but my brain is mush today.
No, that's all good. So I'm looking for hidden pockets, hidden pouches within the book lining, within the pages themselves, anything that could be hidden, basically. Second thing is, I do genuinely want to find out information about Eos, where she came from, how she came to be, all that kind of stuff. And then the third thing was I wanted to try and work out if there's any subtext within the text of the book, so hidden coding, anything that would have been written by my group or, you know, similar groups, that kind of thing, as well as like just any general hidden coding.
Right. Okay. Oh, what on earth would that be?
If it helps for you to decide, she is very intently like checking this out. She is properly, for want of a better word, investigating this book as well as reading it.
I feel like it's going to be investigation. I was just wondering if there's maybe something that I could kind of swing it into. But yeah, no, investigation I think will have to be the juice here. Yeah, okay. If you want to do your investigation check for me.
And is this then an advantage with the guidance as well because of Slate's help?
I don't think it's an advantage because of that, but you do get guidance because of that, because Slate excused himself from this, so he's specifically not with you. But you do get the guidance from that.
So that's a 16. Was it D4, isn't it?
D4, yeah.
That's a 1, so it's a 17.
There's a few interesting things that you take from here. One is that whilst there are talks of Eos's family, they're not specifically like her. So what Eos might be referring to and what you might be referring to, you may see as two different things. Her family history seems to be like leaning into the magical without touching it until Eos. But they have a long history of believing in magic and supporting it, and a wide variety of that. And then way back in her bloodline, it is thought that someone similar to Eos may have existed, but there was never any record of it, proof of that. So it's more hypothetical, theoretical, rather than proven, if that makes sense, because it was a very long time ago. But Eos herself would be the first documented, recorded, not human of her lineage through this story. But the history of the Tintriox does it does demonstrate a long lineage of people who, this would be interesting more I think to Dash, so someone has to remind me to tell Kian about this. They would be magic supporters in the same vein that he would know that his father would have been. Like they would help people and magical people, and potentially even bring them down here to keep them hidden when necessary.
Which is why they might have eventually got touched by... She's moon touched. We already know that Eos is moon touched anyway. The other interesting thing to Adriana about that is that of the similarities between herself and Eos now at this point, that we're both from a bloodline that neither of us truly knows about. So yeah, that would be interesting. Anything else with regards to the other things?
I think mostly it's that there isn't any necessarily secretive or hidden information in this. This seems more like a book that's protected and kept safe because it's one of a kind than it is kept secret or hidden. Now, the wording of things could be a bit specific, so you might read into them a bit more and be like, there might be something here, but there wouldn't be even close to enough information for you to decipher that.
Okay.
But mostly what it seems to be focused on is actually recording not just the family members of Eos history, but her, like what they were like, a little bit of a bio almost of them, and a few bits of pieces of information. But the most interesting thing is just that there are two separate entities for what would be recognized as her father. Just trying to think.
So bio and step kind of thing.
Yeah. I would have to give their names at least because that is there. So I'll give that on that roll, but I won't go too deep into the actual information. One is referenced as somebody called Vitor Lash. So the letter V dash Tor. So Vitor Lash. And the other one then is Riker. What's his last name? Sorry. Riker Frakes. Sorry. Riker Frakes. Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yep.
Sorry, what was it? Riker?
Rykur Frakes. Frakes.
Okay. Okay. Then obviously I'll respectfully like fold up the book and put it back and stuff.
All the pages just turn to dust as you close it.
I just blow the dust and it's just the pages disappear instead. So, oh no.
Oh shit. and in truth, like,
white chicks.
yeah, that feels a little too close to me because I feel like that's something I would actually do. I'm just like, here, let me get that for you, and just like the pages just come off. Just drop Nutella on it or something. Yeah, that would be, yeah, for your role, that would be pretty much the main core things that you pull from it.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything anyone else wants to do?
Hatsu would like look deeper into the hint that Adriana gave him, and he's specifically looking for books that would be related to religious aspects, and he's looking if there's more signs for the unnamed one, since he knows that Eos tend to lean towards Minerva. He's curious if there has been times when that was different. So he's looking for stuff that she might have read on the topic of religion or magic sources in general.
There's plenty of books about religion here and upstairs, all about Minerva, Tempestus, Aureus, Arius, Cobras. But not one drop, not one page, not one scrap about the unnamed one.
Eos,
Hatsu.
is there a place where there's maybe more books? Like here?
Yeah, absolutely. Eos will take Hatsu, kind of like walk around and kind of come to this large, somewhat open area with bookcases around in kind of a semicircle, and there's a table in the middle. And Eos will gesture towards something hanging from the ceiling and see Hatsu. Look around.
It's Boreal. Yeah, it's got more books to it, and although you go through it, there's some old books here, like some pre the year like 1000, like some old books. Again, nothing about the unnamed one, as though he was polished from existence.
What do you actually know about the unnamed one?
Oh, Matsu, so far, a lot of pyramid images, suggestions. What we saw in the place with the creatures that Amadriana helped us get away from. There's something.
I'm asking because I'm generally curious, because it seems like this is part of the domain that he has. How could I say? It's within his reach. And there's clear symbols of it, but I can't find more sources.
Eos, for
So
sure.
either-
You have no idea what he's talking about with symbols of the non-named one, for sure.
I didn't see any pyramids, Matsu.
Pyramids. What is that?
In the place with the sacrificial table, there was a pyramidic symbol. And then there was more where we found the unfortunate woman who was hung up. More pyramidic symbols.
True.
There's a big
think
pyramid
that's-
near where Dash lives.
I think that's not all of it, but I was just curious. Because I think this place has been hosting people of that kind. I was just curious maybe if you would know more about it, or maybe it's your father that knows more about it, because I guess you would keep stuff like that privately in books that are not for everybody, maybe.
And this is the place for the books that are not for everybody. Only because I trust you, and the others would I even consider showing you the entrance or how to get down here, or even my true self.
Eldrin, at
I was
this
just
point, you would have
curious.
heard them mention the unnamed one several times. Whether or not you want to partake in that conversation is up to you. You would have picked up on it. That's a key phrase that would probably prick up your ears.
I do wonder,
You're on mute.
what is his name?
Always doing it. Too many toggles from mute. So I would have definitely heard that, but at this point I was walking away from them with Slate.
Sure. Oh, that's
was
right.
kinda-
Oh, ignore me. I'm so
'cause-
sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
So maybe it was kind of like very faint in the background that
You're
I
like
heard
halfway
it,
up the stairs,
but
like,
not
"Huh?"
like
Just like leaning
yeah,
back.
literally like just heard it like wait what? Because my priority was a scene Slate kind of go over with
You're
this
right.
flame.
Sorry,
So
I
my
forgot
idea
about that.
was
Yeah, you're right.
that's okay. Scene Slate go over and with a flame going. Is he able to see up there? Even though I cast light, and I was like, I have dark vision. I can see what's going on. And I'm like, I ain't blind. I'm assuming he can't see him. Like, I'll help him up the stairs. So, yeah, I may hear that very, very faintly in
Cool.
the background.
No worries,
I
yeah.
don't mind doing some form of troll for it to see
You're
actually
okay.
if I did
no,
hear
no.
it.
I'll say, yeah, you caught that for a split second and just kept moving. Like, that's completely fine. I just like, there's certain things that I think each of you would sort of perk up about if there's those points were reached. And that would be one that I think Eldrin would have been responsive to. Sorry, that's an ES. Carry on. Apologies.
There was something that did happen though. Let's see, which I think you should know. 'Cause you weren't there when I informed the others to an extent about it. When I went to trance last night, Wesson visited me. He revealed something that I wished I could do, but apparently I can do. I can control the flow of my dreams as if I am a dam in a river.
Oh, you didn't know that you could do that?
No, you can do this.
It's not really easy, but the trick is that you remember yourself, that it's just a dream before you enter it. That might be also a reason why Westlands always mentions that everything is a dream. I don't know. I still try to learn this. But I think it has to do something with the consciousness of your soul. If you accept that things aren't real and your soul is just projected to somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
you can alter the version that you're in.
Interesting. It felt as if I was standing still, but everything was moving around me.
My thought of it is that there's two separate things. One thing is a dream that is created by you, for you, to reflect on things, to remember things, to sort things. And there's other dreams that come to us as a wave of, how can I say? I think everything in the universe is connected. And sometimes these waves tickle through time and space and link you to something from your future, from your past.
Mm-hmm.
And this is little things we can learn. But it's hard to read, I guess.
Yos will invite Hatu to sit down on this kind of plush, old couch, sitting near this large table.
It's remarkable that you got that
Strange.
couch down those stairs. To think about it.
Crazy. So much pivoting must have been required.
Pivot.
Reduce, enlarge.
Or just build it down there.
Okay.
It's an
Got that.
IKEA sofa.
I see you. Yeah.
Sits down, and kind of elbows on the knees, looking upwards towards the vaulted ceiling. It was nice to see Wesleyan again.
Yeah.
He did not know me though. Just bizarre.
Well, I had that in my dreams. If you can call them dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your soul is focused on one thing specifically, and you forget time and space, and you just reflect and project on that emotion, on the thing you truly seek. Some people get lost in this kind of trance, in this searching for reasoning. I believe even if you think that your consciousness is what is telling you what is going on, we might have to realize that our subconsciousness does way more for us than our active thinking. I think these are moments when we dip into knowledge that we have, but we don't know about.
I thought I was just figuring it all out, and here I am, lost again. Anyways, at least I'm at home.
I think the difficulty lies when you try to grab something you can't pick up. If you know what I mean. You can't control the flow of time. You can't control destiny. You can just try to go with the flow.
You know the way back in your home you had your weapons mounted on the walls and such?
Aye.
Above in the ceiling here, as you can see, there's some kind of a... I don't know what it is. It's been hanging here for as long as I know. You also be gesturing towards this long staff, the crystalline crescent moon at the end of it, hanging by 2 golden threads, just slowly turning without a breeze from the ceiling.
Hatsu would probably equate this to some sort of very fancy quarterstaff or something similar. Bow staff.
And the thing is moving, you say? Well, that's interesting. What if this weapon reacts to something akin to my weapon, and he pulls out the jitter and he explains to Eos that was given to me by Remington, and it's also a weapon that was crafted through my family at some point. This weapon has a very significant feature. It can feel the attention of harm.
Huh.
What if this weapon can sense and point to something different than the intention of harm? More like sources of magic, destination of springs of magic, where the wave is strong. Maybe it points to the owner of the staff, or the creature or entity that gave power to that staff.
Wow.
Maybe you could ask Slate. He's quite proficient in finding out properties of these kind of things.
You might know something about it. You're right, Hatsu. Would you like another cup of tea while I go find Slate, or are you...
Aye.
Perfect. You just will wander off, first off to brew a new cup, and in the meantime kind of keep a peeper out for Slate.
Of course. Yeah, I'll go to Slate and Eldrin. What are you guys up to? We're going to go back in time a wee bit, so this is during the conversation, obviously, of Hatsu and Eos, so you have a bit of time. It's not that Eos is just going to be right behind you for this as well, so just for context of where everybody is.
Yeah, so last we left off, the others were investigating the book just before they moved forward, and I had cast an illusion in my hand of a fire, something large enough that I could see it in the darkness, use it to illuminate the stairs, and I was using it as a scientific experiment to try and dissect what Eos has said, because she hinted about, something about time changing, or she felt like it changed down here. Also, her skin and so on changed, so there's obviously some kind of magic between upstairs and downstairs. What that is or how it works, I don't know, but my idea is to cast the cantrip of the fire, the illusion, and to use it to see where that line is, to see if the fire flickers, dissipates, because if there's a time difference between upstairs and here, if this is, let's say, like a pocket dimension or something like that, and time is different, cantrips only last so long. So all of a sudden, if I passed that barrier and more time had passed, it would drop immediately. That's my thought. Or if, there's something like a magic field or this or that. So I'm using it to see if it has any effect, if it changes any, if I feel anything. So it's not just my observation skills, but it's how I feel about the concentration of the magic, visually what I see, etc., and going inch by inch to try and find where it is along that stairs, if there is some kind of a change in areas, and try and get a feel for what that might be. That's my scientific experiment. And then, as we said, Eldrin was just following behind me.
So I'm going to appear behind you and kind of be like, all right, there's a step here, there's a step here, as if I'm guiding you, as if you cannot see. And I'm like, don't trip over this step here. Just, it's a bit dark, I get it, but, you know.
Just for my own amusement, there's also no banister. So if you fall off when you're on the upper parts of the spiral staircase that leads down here, it's just a straight fall down on top of like Hatsu and stuff. Yeah, you cleanly make your way up the stairs. It's not hard. You've got one hand on the wall. You've got Eldrin behind you guiding you. Whether or not there are changes to the fire, let's start there. Everything seems normal. The spell itself has its own demands as such and times. But besides the normal, nothing else happens. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You don't notice anything strange. Just the air is a little bit more dank downstairs because it's an underground compartment and the only air coming in is from up here. So like it takes a while for air to recycle its way through, and it's not the nicest smelling. It's effectively a very small dungeon, right? So, but besides that, it is like there are scented candles and stuff to make up for it, but it's still heavy air, harder to breathe, not significantly, just notably. So as you ascend the stairs, it's getting easier for you to breathe in a sense, but not, again, it's not a dramatic thing. It's just a very, very minor thing.
Almost cleaner, tiny bit of a fresh breeze, slightly, cooler air or warmer, whichever.
Right, yeah, a little bit, probably a little bit cooler, to be honest, yeah. And as you get upstairs, you're sort of facing the front of the store again, and you hear a little jingle, and this elderly man comes in and sees you, and he's like, "Ah! Hello!"
What does this elderly man look like?
Elderly, male, hunched over, small, like 4 foot something.
What race, if any?
A human.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's what we were going for. Sorry. Assume human unless I say otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I did assume, but you know what they say about assuming, so I wanted just to be sure.
Just makes an ass out of you, definitely not me. Yeah.
So as he starts to come in, as I'm coming up the stairs, and he says, I'm just going to turn my back immediately because I have fire. So I'm just going to turn my back and just say to...
I didn't actually make that connection, but you're right.
And I'm just going to say to Eldrin, I need to bring this torch downstairs. If you could see to the gentleman, I'll just get Eos. And I'm just going to scurry back down the stairs, and I'm not going to put it out so the light will go, like he'll see the light going down the stairs as it should do.
Yeah, he probably won't see much of the stairs, but it's okay.
He would see the light, if you know what I mean, like someone carrying a candle going down the stairs, the light would go back down with me, as opposed to just evaporating the second I turn the corner.
You hear his small cane hitting the wood floor as he shuffles across.
And I'm just going to go downstairs and then go towards Eos. And when I think I'm, past the center of the room towards the back where the light, isn't making much of a difference upstairs, I'm going to cancel the spell, drop it, and just say to Eos, some dude with a cane upstairs. I didn't know what to do. Europe.
Yeah, Slate will hear the sound of a teacup and such. Sure, one moment. And Eos scuttles.
I'm going to follow Eos back up.
While you guys are on the way up, this old man is looking at Eldrin. He's standing like an inch from him, and he's looking straight up at Eldrin. Like he's like under his chin. Like
I'm just staring like right down at him, just not in an intimidating way. I'm just like, do you like to read books?
Books? No. I'm here for a burger, 2 fries.
Double the order and I'll pay for it. I'm sure the guys are hungry. I can't eat it though. I'm on a diet.
Okay. I'm here to order collection.
What's the name?
Toma.
Let me check the. Let me check the reg and see. Is it all paid, or are you gonna need me to fork it out?
I don't think credit cards or anything exists, so it's probably not all paid. No. He takes out a purse and his hands jingling like the coin purse as he tries to find the coins.
Oh dear God. Okay. Tell you what.
Could you help me? The string's a little tight.
Yeah. I'll like take my gloves off and I'll just put them in my pocket and I'm like, okay. How is this like a regular order or did you like pigeon this in or something? Like, how did you make this order?
I didn't. I'm just here to make it now.
Okay.
How long is it going to be?
He's just gone down to make sure the oven's on, I guess. The stove.
Am I too early?
Do you have the time?
Do you?
I do not, Toma. I do not. So it's look, you're the first customer today, right? You're the first in for an order.
Early bird special.
Yeah, we'll say even just a discount. You're first early bird worms and catching and stuff. Yeah, so there, I'll take like, I'll literally just pick 2 random coins out and be like, yep, all paid. And I'll just tighten the rope and give it back to him. I'll
wait here.
Hand that to the boss. Yep. If you need to browse books while you're waiting, yep.
Never learned to read. Can you read it to me while I wait?
Yeah. What do you like?
Either like real books or fiction. Both are good.
Real books or fiction?
I love history.
Yeah, that's
when it's fake.
I'm gonna ask the voice in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Some random history that I may know. I'm gonna make some random roll for the lols of it.
Go for it, man.
Give me some random knowledge, the most obscure knowledge I could go for with a 22.
That's not obscure at all. I mean, like, you'd know about Bricksunder. It was founded by wanderers and built with the idea of, like, building in mind. Like advancement, science, construction, artifice. These are all important things to anyone from Bricksunder.
I'm gonna go with that, right?
That would probably be your best bet. The thing you would be most knowledgeable about.
I'm gonna straight up turn around to him and say, one of the best stories I read while I'm like tying a knot in his little rope thing and
don't do it too tight now. I won't get it open.
No. It's
okay.
It's a slip. It's a slip knot. It'll just literally slip. What's a band?
What? You're
like
tying a band.
Hair band.
You're doing a good band.
Okay. Here, Toma. So the best story I heard was city got its name because it was built, under bricks and stuff, and hey, Bricksunder.
Little on the nose, but okay.
It's okay.
What does sunder mean?
You know what? I will look that up for you. I'll be right back. And I just tell him. I just tell him, don't get lost. As I just look down the stairwell and I'm like, Eos, someone.
Eldrin, what are you doing?
Toma is here.
What does he want?
Food, apparently, and he's paid, and I hand her the 2 coins, and I walk downstairs.
Oh. Eos very humbly, with the cloak up, will walk towards where hopefully Toma is.
Oh, you put on a coat? That's nice.
Hi, sir. I do apologize. We don't sell food. And she hands him back the 2 coins.
Where's the rest of the story?
What story?
You were telling me about Bricksunder.
Oh,
I'm ready.
what would you like to know?
All of it.
Do you have a hunger for knowledge?
And 2 burgers and fries. And a baked onion.
A baked onion. Wow.
Maybe a pepper. I like them spicy.
Very foreshadowing of you.
2 peppers, please.
I do apologize, Toma, but we don't serve food.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
I'm going to put my hand on Eos's shoulder and lean into Eos. Not exactly a whisper, but just a low tone, and just say, are you aware of anywhere? Are you aware of anywhere nearby that might serve food like this?
Oh yeah, there's a farmer's market. 200 meters that way.
So I'm gonna quickly take out my forgery kit, and I'm literally just gonna write 2 hamburgers, fries, write down the amount of coins that Eos has in her hand, put them into the order, roll it up, and then take another piece of paper and turn to Eos and write farmer's market, and then start to draw like arrow, like bookshop, arrow.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just turn to the gentleman and say, I think your food is ready, right this way, and just like hand on back, just start walking them out. And
So what
I'm
is
going to do,
Bricksunder?
I'm just going to continue talking over and just persuade them that their food is going to, like, it's going to be delicious. It's just ready. The kitchen actually is attached downstairs, but the order will be ready. It's complicated in a building a few doors down. Let me just show you, and just walk them out to the door and say, we've already sent the order. It's already there. It's waiting for you. So we're all done. Thank you for your patronage, and just sort of walk them out of the building, and then just continue talking over them and just refocusing them, and bring them outside and kind of get them to go that way, and then put the map in front of them so they're holding the piece of paper with their order, with the map, so they can see roughly the direction of where they should be going, and say to them, your order is just, it's ready. Thank you for your patronage. Just run back inside and close the door.
Oh. He just stands there looking in the glass door. just looking back towards you guys. He just stays.
God, it's like the guy from the Tomb Raider in the fridge. Anyways.
The butler, Alfred.
Yeah. Slate, you're a hero.
And I look over towards them, looking in the window, and I go, yeah. I tried, at least. I'm going to go back to the staircase and say, Eldrin, what did you do?
I panicked. I tried to tell him a story or something that was not a story, but was a real story. I don't know. He was small. It was weird.
I'm gonna go halfway down the staircase, so I'm between. If Eos is in the room upstairs, Eldrin is downstairs. I'm on the staircase between the two, but I specifically go down so I'm out of sight from the room above, and then the other person is outside. And I'm gonna recast Minor Illusion because I can cast it to anywhere within range, and because I know what's outside, I'm gonna cast a hamburger and fries in front of this person and get them just to start dancing down the street in front of them, right in front of them, and just get it to start moving in the direction they're supposed to go.
I'll give you advantage on a deception check. This is genius. Again, with the moves.
It's like that advert that you used to have in the cinema where it's like a hamburger and a drink and a popcorn just dancing. Like, follow our way to the concession stand.
It's like the cart with the carrot on the stick type idea. So 23.
Let's all go to the market and get ourselves a treat. Yeah, you successfully lead him away. He's just like, ooh, as he walks down the
goes
street.
to the lobby.
And what I'll do is I'll just, as I wait for him to go, I'm going to wait an appropriate amount of time, 2-3 minutes, and then I'm going to go to the door and just lean out to see how far down he's gone, and just either recast or continue until I get him to go as far as he needs to be, until his focus will be on the new farmer's market, and he'll continue on his way.
At this point, just to move this along, he's approaching the market and you can make it disappear successfully. That's
I just cancel it and go back inside and close the door.
Just click. Yeah, no worries. Crisis averted, I suppose. I love that you left Eldrin in charge, like the most socially awkward of the group somehow. It's just left him there.
Absolute cinema.
I think we should have just left him there for the whole thing and see how he handled that.
Hell yeah. You guys are back in, and I'll just assume regrouped downstairs again.
Now, Eos will resume making her tea. Slate. Hatsu has something that he was asking you about.
Okay. Just follow
So,
this.
yeah. Heads back to the kind of slightly larger open area, big table, and sits down on the couch with Hatsu and Slate.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely.
You said I have something to ask about.
No, I just needed a reason to bring Slate here. Slate, do you know anything about that? She gestures towards the staff, slowly turning the vaulted ceiling.
But Slate sees a floating staff.
No, it's hanging by chains. It's not like it's not
okay.
magically floating or anything like that.
Just checking it.
Stop trying to make me give you guys a flying staff.
Not immediately, but if you give me a few minutes, and I'm going to start making myself comfortable. Is there like a table or something you said in the middle of the room?
Big long table, relatively low.
Yeah.
It's just for reading.
So I'm going to, take out my notebook, flick it through to an empty page, start looking at it, starts, doing little drawings of it and stuff, and then I'm going to kind of lick my fingers and then start ritually casting Identify, and I think I need to touch it, so I'm going to start to cast it and then say, do you mind?
Be careful.
Hatsu just puts out like his hands to make like a step for Slate, and he's gonna push him up a little bit so he can touch that thing.
That's probably better. I was going to step on the table. So then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to touch it, and then the ritually identify takes a considerable amount of time. So this is just the beginning of a process that he's going to start to do this, basically. If I can unattach it and take it down even temporarily, very gently, or lower the chains or something to make it more accessible, that's easier. Or if I have to stay touching it for the duration, I'm going to do like 1 foot on Hatsu, 1 foot on the table sort of thing, and just so it's more comfortable, takes less weight. And if he starts to get tired, I'll shift to the table, just being respectful, barely on the edge of the table just to be sure. And I'm just going to be muttering to myself and sort of making contact, and this is just going to take a while.
There's a slight hum from the staff. Just faintly. You can almost feel it in your fingertips more than you can hear it. It's like just this very low resonance that's consistently making a noise as you identify it. And there's a strange, from one side where the moon is, there's almost a strange, almost like a metronome effect or something, like a pendulum, something similar. But yeah, you begin to identify it. But that gives us 10 minutes, so I will go to Majorana quickly, because I haven't heard from you in a little bit. What are you doing, my friend?
Yes. I wouldn't usually ask this. In fairness, I would usually just do it. But to be respectful to you, I will ask.
My friend, you can ask too. Whatever
I
you
want
like.
to search this place. I want to know if it's got any secrets.
Oh, no, you'd be finding answers to questions I've had for a long time. I'm terrible at finding things. May I help you?
I mean, that's the hope, and yes, absolutely. And so that's the intention, is I want to basically search this crypt, this dungeon, whatever you may call it. I want to see if there's any, I'm literally searching, tapping each stone, is there a false stone? Is there a stone that's not lodged properly? Is there secret compartments, hidden things, anything that might be hidden here?
Okay.
I say, what are we looking for?
Just
As I kind of
wonder
like pop
if
my head in between.
this is the sort of place people like to hide things because most people don't know about them. I want to see if something that got hidden has stayed hidden until now.
Yeah.
Do you know something about this, like Slate does?
Not really, but I could definitely help look around. Everything is bright as day for me, so
Sure. I'll get you both to make individual checks. We'll go with investigating. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say I'll kind of like not fist bump, but I'll kind of like just touch my knuckles off of Amadriana's kind of arm, just to be like, you go that way, I'll go this way, and as I touch her arm, I cast guidance.
How does a Majorana react to being touched? Out of curiosity.
The instinct to snap his arm is definitely there.
Yes.
But she knows how to. She knows he doesn't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah. Guidance is applied to Amadriana, I believe. So you may both do separate investigation checks. Amadriana, you have guidance, and I'll go with I'll go with that. That's really easy.
So with the guidance, it's a 17.
Okay.
Ah.
And Eldrin gets a 7. Okay. Amadriana, we'll start with you. You're quite adept at finding secrets where they don't want to be found. So there are several things that stand out to you. The first thing that I think would occur to Amadriana, correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to interrupt if I'm incorrect, is to check near the symbols that she located on the wall. You use your fist and knock on the stone to see if there's any difference, but it's quite dense stone, so it's not something that's giving enough. So you take out one of your new daggers and you just tap it against the wall, feeling the resonance of the dagger first of all, and second of all listening to how it interacts with the stone. There's a more heavy, dense sound as you like hit the stone, and then at some point there's a much lighter Near to both symbols appears to be something false, protecting. You do push on the wall and you try to find any secret levers or anything that might indicate how to open them, and there's no reaction. There's also certain things you notice, like certain bookcases have markings on the floor that might indicate that over the years they have been moved and moved back and moved and moved back. And the most strange thing in the room is the thing that Slate is hanging onto, trying not to fall off of Hatsu and the table and stuff as he reaches up and just hangs onto this thing, and he's kind of spinning with it a little bit. You're watching Slate do this, but there is something oddly curious about that. Why is it here? How is it spinning? Like, is that its own thing? Does it have anything to do with any of this? That would obviously ring some bells as well. I'll defer to you and ask what you would like to investigate more closely.
So where you said there was a hollowing from the wall, from the brick, whatever it might be, does it look like the mortar around the brick is different shade to the rest of the mortar, as if it's been replaced at some point?
I'm going to ask for a perception check. I'm going to give you advantage on this, and I'll give you your guidance as well because that lasts for a minute. I'll say we're still in that minute.
It's a terrible tonight. 18.
18? 18's okay. Not so much in terms of like, oh, the brick is different, but what you do notice is that there are faint lines that you can almost sort of make out that would indicate that there's some sort of compartment here. It's not a full-size door on the one that is with the iconography that you found in the caves. That is separate and sort sort of square. It looks more like a wall safe than anything else. The other side, where the side of the compass is, looks more like a doorway. Like you can barely make it out. Like it's not something you would even typically notice. Nobody would even pay attention to it. It's just something that you are very closely macro inspecting. And that's why you're seeing these faint lines.
Do I find any keyholes? Like, is there anything that looked like it could be like an insertion place or?
No, nothing that looks like insertion or anything that you can put in. You do have these, like, the icons that pulled you there in the first place are a bit embezzled, if that makes sense. Like that. Is that the right word? But they embossed maybe, yeah. But they, like, besides that, no, not really.
And do the icons themselves, do they have any like push button function? Do they have any?
You move your hand across them and you can obviously feel the groove, but there's no press or give to it.
Yes, you see this outline of this was a doorway, which means this and that one over there as well, which means there is a passageway behind this, or at least a room, a cupboard, something. You have one or two options. One, if you've got something magically you can do to draw the stone out, I guess. Or two, I could ask Daddy Slate to give it his best swing in his larger form.
Eos will go up to this area in the wall and kind of study for a moment because she's never obviously seen it before. She's never had a reason to look around it.
The doorway has a symbol of a compass. The one that looks more like a sort of a block or square. That one has the symbol to the same one that you had found in the caves.
You hear from the back room. You hear, maybe we should wait for the bigger picture. As he's struggling to hold.
He's spinning around
Slate.
slowly while he tries to keep Slate steady as Slate spins around above him.
Actually, Eos,
Like, right, yeah.
wasn't you given something of a compass?
Oh yes. She holds the rapier. But
Is it similar to the marking on the wall?
Could be, yeah.
Like putting it up against the marking on the wall. Is this the same icon?
Yeah, this compass would be the same icon, yeah.
This compass was given to me by Rem.
Yes, but
Not that compass. I apologize for the confusion. You were given another compass type item from here, and you keep it on your side. That's what I thought you were talking about. I may have accidentally spilled. I spilled beans all over the place.
The sword then. Okay.
No,
Right.
this is
No. This compass, Eos, is it anything like the one that you have?
Oh, that one. Wow.
As she
You can
holds
push it against the
does
major
do
on his face.
anything?
Yeah, you as you put
I
it
guess
against
I
the
can
wall.
see it. I'm quite perceptive.
As you hold it up to the wall, it looks like a very astute fit.
Is it like, can we like click it in and like, is this like a doorknob for this? Is this?
Is it embossed into the stone?
You gonna push it in and find out?
Hell yeah.
Nice. It shatters into a million pieces. No. You press it against. You take it away from the rapier, and you press it against the. Actually, now that I think about it, I think that is the same one. Never mind. I may have confused myself. I apologize. Actually, I think that is all the same.
More coffee.
It is a tremendously long day. And so as you press it into the wall, it clicks in. But nothing happens.
You try and turn it, maybe?
She puts her hand, like, kind of trying to get bits of it between her fingers and tries to turn it towards the left.
Until it points north. It clicks into place as you press against it. A lot of dust, smoke, and cold air fill the room quite quickly as we take our break.
Can I just say, the one thing I do is Adriana literally pulls Eos back and stands in front of her with her sword out ready.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect. That dragon's not going to know what hit it. All right, we'll BRB. We're right back after this.
Dungeons and Dragons!
We'll be right back. It's a little late for our break, actually. We're not actually that far from the end, but we will do our quick little break. We'll be about 10 minutes. If you, speak of dragons, if you want to fight a boss, please do feel free to do so. We do have also our post-show coming up in about an hour and a bit, where Mr. Rory and Mr. Kyle will be eating Carolina Reapers. Eating Reaper peppers. Yeah, besides all of that, I also want to say a special thank you to Mr. Solid 10 D&D, who I believe is in chat, because they sent me a really cool t-shirt.
That's so cool.
Protected by Muscle Mommy, and I appreciate it. This is a cool t-shirt. Thank you so much, Solid. This is very cool. I
actually need to order the t-shirt from them that's my character as well.
It's sick. Yeah, I was actually watching the video earlier. If for those who don't know, Mr. Rhino had joined them for a playthrough. I keep meaning to throw in our announcements, so that's there. I'll probably do that today. And then if you guys want to see it, you can follow the link to, of course, Solid 10. I would get one of the mods, if you don't mind, to put it in the chat as well, please, for me, so that you guys can check out Solid and give them a follow. They are significantly important to us. They have done so much to support us, and we really, really appreciate it. And I believe this t-shirt to be a bribe, so that when we do have them on our channel, of course, I will give them double inspiration. So perfect. For now, though, we will go on our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. And prepare your questions as well, because we'll be doing a post show, and I want a lot of questions for Rory and Kyle, especially after they've eaten those peppers. I would love to hear what they have to say. A lot of important stuff happened in this session. I think it would be good for them to recap, and I believe Rory's hosting tonight too, especially because Kian isn't here. So this should be absolutely something to behold.
We should have went to Katai.
I regret everything.
Not at all. But for now, we'll BRB. See you soon.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
And we are back. What's up? What's up? We find ourselves in Eos's creepy, stinky dungeon. The door just opened.
It's just not well ventilated.
Yeah, that's what I say as well. Every time I bring someone to my creepy, stinky dungeon. We opened the door. Dust and smoke emerged. Seems to be some kind of hallway.
Are you sure? Should we wait for Slab and Hatsu?
We'll wait for him for a minute. You go and see what their progress is. I'll stay here and keep an eye on this in case something comes out.
Okay. Yos walks towards spinning Slate and Hatsu.
Slate and Hatsu, you guys are about a minute or so away from finishing your identification on this. Eos, you look up and Hatsu's just very carefully pirouetting with Slate attached to his hands while Slate's pirouetting and holding onto this staff, moving in the same way. They're both moving on and off the table.
Good training.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
I'm lost in what I'm doing, so I'm just muttering and touching it, and I'm completely in the zone, so there's no response from me. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm mid-cast of, identify, etc. So I'm lost in that and the conversation, if you will, between the item and I, and learning what I learn. So I'm there, but I'm not there as such.
So Hatsu, Adriana found a secret tunnel in my undercraft.
Yeah, smelled it.
Yeah, really dusty and cold. It's weird.
Yeah, that might go deeper down. It's colder there.
Mm-hmm. She goes over to a cup of tea and just takes a sip.
Do I get any sounds or anything particular from down this passageway?
An odd sound of dripping from deep down in the passageway.
I'm gonna send Albie in. Actually, Aldrin, that thing that you've done to create that light, can you do that on anything?
Oh, I thought you were gonna send me down here. Yeah, I think so.
Unfortunately, you're one of us, and I don't want to injure you.
Understood. I appreciate that.
You're one of us, Aldrin. Did you hear that? You're one of us.
I did. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's not make a deal of it, shall we?
Sorry. Yeah, so I can touch things and they kind of light up. I don't think I never tried it to be carried before. It's just a thing I just touch and lights up. But we can see if LB can do that.
I'm gonna pick up then a pebble or a stone or something that might have chipped off of this as it opened up.
Sure.
Hand it to Aldrin to light up, and if he can make it work, basically give it to LB, and I'm going to have LB fly down and kind of have a look.
Okay.
And obviously I'll be looking through LB.
So you're casting light on the object, so the stone, Albie's going to pick up that little stone, carry it down the little hallway, right?
Yeah, so he can see.
Yeah. So I'll touch it, and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's doing it. And it lights up.
Your marvel has no bounds, Aldrin.
I'm like visibly pleased with myself. I'm like, yeah, thanks, yeah, I appreciate it. And I kind of stand back because I'm like, don't be awkward. I just let her do her thing.
Albie heads down the corridor. There's no...
The light drops.
The light drops? Has a range, does it?
The second LB picks it up, the light goes.
Oh, okay.
They changed that.
Unfortunately.
Bastards.
Unfortunately, sorry.
As Albie heads down, it's just carrying this non-illuminated rock. Albie can still see, so it's not massive. I think Albie has dark vision, right? I'm actually tripping.
I don't think so.
What is Albie? A raven?
Yeah.
Albie doesn't have dark vision. Yeah, because the owl has dark vision, right? It's not the raven.
Is he strong enough to carry a small torch?
Probably not a torch, but you could maybe make something or fashion something for him.
It's bright for 20 feet.
If I think of a torch, it's like
dims.
a proper yoke, right?
No, but if it moves, then it stays light. That's not 20 feet from you.
Yes, I suppose.
Want to cast in the chat there? Let's have a look.
Yeah. Should have done that first time around saws. Yeah. Doesn't give a lovely description of it there, but when I'm looking at it myself, it says you can touch one large or small object that isn't being worn or carried by someone else.
Interesting.
Until the spell ends, the object sheds bright light in a 20 feet radius, dim light in an additional 20 feet. Lights can be colored any way you like.
Bear with.
Unless LB was to drop it when she realized, or they realized that.
Just from a large or smaller object that isn't worn or being carried by someone else. Until the spell ends, the object sheds a bright light. Yeah, no, that just means before. I think Albie could then. I would take that to mean that Albie could then pick it up. And it was illuminated.
Okay,
I would think that at the time of casting, it just can't be on them. Like maybe it sends out a surge of magic that would just, like electrocute them or something. But I think
he wouldn't be able to.
Perfect.
He wouldn't be able to light up my dagger because it's on me. But like if it was on the table, he could light it up, and then I could pick it up and put it on myself, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have a light emitting pebble for 1 hour.
Cool.
We
Nice.
don't know what's 1 hour yet, though.
It's and it has no. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have range. The object is just lit up, so that's fine. Yeah, no, absolutely, that's okay. Cool. Yeah, so you take, Albie takes it and heads down the kind of hallway. While it's flying down the hallway, it continues further until the light sort of disappears.
It goes out, or it
just seems to have gone so far you can't really see it anymore.
Okay, I'm going to keep him within the 100 feet of me so that he's constantly connected to me. Can I see through his eyes and see what he sees?
What's the range? Remind me. I know I ask this every
100
week.
feet.
100 feet.
That's
Yeah,
why I
you
keep
can.
him.
Yeah, you warg into Albie, and yeah, they're just heading further and further down. You can see a good distance until they reach the end, which appears to be some kind of. It goes up a slight stairwell, and then it appears to be some kind of like doorway
With a closed door.
Stone.
Okay. How far is that from me? Can I tell?
99 feet.
Okay, so it's like
99.999 feet.
Right. So I hit the boundary of the world. Gotcha.
The blocks aren't rendering correctly.
Okay, on his flight back, I'm gonna have him do it slower. I want to look out for, like, footing. Like, is it steps? Do they seem wet and slippery? Is there any more markings on the brickwork? Like, I'm taking my time while they're doing their thing to kind of examine this hallway as much as possible with Albie before we even step foot in there.
Yeah, so it's a pretty direct hallway. It leads to a stairwell that goes up. It doesn't have many like twists, turns, anything unusual. There's no markings, carvings, nothing of note that seems to stand out. It's a very one-to-one direct hallway, but there is a notable amount of air coming from that door, if that makes sense.
Okay. And one last question. Is it level? Like, is it level with us, the corridor? Or is it going
until
down?
It reaches the stairs, yeah. Until it reaches the stairs, it's pretty level, yeah. You know,
okay, cool.
This is going to mean more probably to Kyle than anyone in this group, but you know when you're strip mining for diamonds? It looks like someone was strip mining for diamonds and then was just like, oh, let's go up a little level. We're not quite at 16, so like, let's go back up, or whatever it was.
I just want to point out as well, I'm the diamond sniffer in that game.
You are. I'm so sorry. Absolutely. I equate you to Rust now. That's all I think about. I'm sorry.
That's it,
You're
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. I need a Minecraft server, man, just so you guys can see. Brian may not roll well in D&D, but what he does lack in rolls here, he makes up for in Minecraft, because he's just like, yeah, I found 246 more diamonds. It's just like walks back up, and you're just like, how? Like,
server.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it actually makes sense that Ryan finds this corridor then.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for them now at this point.
Cool. Yeah. I'll say at this point that Richard, you're basically Slate, excuse me. You're basically done with the stuff. I'll put it on you now in a second and you can figure out what's going on, but for the moment we'll focus on, so not to distract from two things, let's focus on the thing here, the doorway, and I'll put that on you now in just a second, okay?
Slate will
Quite
just
long corridor.
sit down after being precariously balanced and hanging for so long, sit down onto said couch and just sort of be taking a few minutes to process what's happened and holding onto the couch, like grounding himself, but processing, and that's sort of what he's doing in this moment
have a cup of tea.
as that ends.
And Hatsu, for you, it would be a thing of like, you know, when you have your hand like at the edge of a car or something and it's been vibrating for a while and then you move it away and you suddenly realize your arm feels like it's still vibrating. You have that sensation that you're still holding him, but you're not. So it's like a really weird thing. Your arms still have that like phantom sensation.
Damn. I thought I was in good training, but I never made these exercises. I do push-ups, but this is different.
It unlocks something
should
new.
do
in
that.
you.
We should do it more often. It activates more muscle.
Oh, well, I, Dash, would love to nominate myself for such a thing. If you would care to pick me up at any time, anywhere, you never even need to ask. You can just do it. You have my full consent and permission. That counts, right?
Ash, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Wow.
I shout in, he's not allowed to touch my power balls.
What he needs is a Slickers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. What would you guys like to do
So
to
what
investigate
did you
this
learn
tunnel?
from
Yeah.
it? Hey, chosen one.
I'm
Come back
gonna
to
put it on
reality.
him now in 2 seconds. You're okay. I just need to transfer it across. Bear with me.
It's just strange exercise, Hasu.
Well, define strange. I saw way stranger things.
Have you heard of the people that like try to balance on logs in a lake?
Hi. It's good exercise.
Really?
Hmm.
Mental and physical?
More physical than mental, I guess. Mental is when you balance a rope about like 300 feet above the ground. That is very
Oh.
mental.
Hmm.
What do you guys want to do with the tunnel? Let's finish the tunnel thing, and then we'll go to the staff thing, because it's going to take some time with the staff thing, so I want to do the tunnel thing first. Because we're halfway through that.
I don't know how I feel about this tunnel. Very eerie looking, even though I can see down it quite far. This has your name written all over it, Madrona. Don't know
By
why.
the fact that it was literally Eos's emblem that opened it, I'd say it's more hers, but I get what you're saying.
Well, you
I
definitely
think it
stabbed
has
the living
been
guts out of
left
stuff.
here to let her find it at some point.
Yes,
I
that's
would
what
guess.
I think too.
I'm very
That's true.
thankful that you were here because when you're so familiar with your own home, you don't look in what is not obvious to you. I'm so happy that you found us, but
I mean, there must be a reason why Remington gave this to you. Right?
yeah, but at the time it just made sense to have a compass for when we went to
Hmm.
that door.
There's no coincidences.
Not
Eos.
with him, anyway.
Hmm. Okay, well,
Might I suggest
yes.
let me go first, just
Okay.
to make sure there's no traps. Once we got to the end, I think you should take over.
What if the secret tunnel is a trap?
Well, then it's me that gets first.
Told you it has a Madrona written all over it.
No, but we need a Madrona. We need everyone.
If I explode, it might not just be writing. Okay, let's have a look. And I'm gonna head down. I'm like testing for traps the whole way. Like I'm not trusting this thing at all.
Sure,
So this
so
is like 4 feet behind you.
investigation, perception, whatever you'd like to do here. Let's roll with it.
Would you like any of us to go with you?
No, but I'd like a tap of good luck if any of you have got it.
Just gives you a
Hold
hug.
out my fist for like a fist bump. And I'm just like, you got this.
She just leaves you hanging. It's not worth it.
For a split second, she looks at Slate and then looks back to Elgin and just does it.
Okay. You feel enriched, I believe, unless Dobbs wants to play a.
No, I cast guidance.
Why is it the fucking trash rolls tonight? 16.
I don't think that's a trash roll. What are you trying to do here?
I mean,
Just
that's
look for
16
traps,
with
right?
a roll of 6, though. Like, that's kind of trash.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
looking for traps. Yeah, this is just traps. Traps and, like, runics for traps, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
While Eos hugs Madrona, she whispers in her ear, Aegis. She casts Astral Aegis on Madrona.
You're gonna have to explain what that is for the people at home, please.
Oh, mage armor.
There you go.
And podcast listeners, we love you.
Yeah. So,
Just cast it in the chat there for me if you don't mind.
Should be there.
Oh, it is there already. Sorry,
Yeah.
Good.
I can't see chat. Sorry.
That's sick, because that used to be only self.
Mm-hmm.
In some capacities, it is self.
That's
in
awesome.
the main spell, I don't believe is self anymore, but you can get it as a feature for something, and that one is self only,
Gotcha.
if I remember correctly. Which I probably don't.
So space AC 13 plus Dex mod.
Not wearing armor.
Nice.
This is a major and not wear armor.
Little help from friend.
Yeah, I do. I have light armor, so I don't know if that counts then.
Ooh.
Oh my god, have I become one of those people that always corrects from
But-
spells?
I'll accept the mistake if that's the case.
You could assist Dash when he's taking a bath.
Or was it when I said I wanted to go to the bathroom to make sure I didn't get murdered?
Oh my god. Yeah.
From now on, Majorana gets mage armor when she uses the bathroom and luck.
Yeah, so that's what I'm checking for. 16 was the roll.
Okay. There's no traps and nothing out of the ordinary, but you do hear a faint clicking, ticking sound from the door behind you, which would indicate that it's likely going to close at some point. You feel like it's attached to some sort of mechanism.
Can I disable it or try to?
As you look at the compass that's in it, you realize that it's ticking closed, but when you turn it again, it seems like more time, but there's no permanent way to lock that. It's just, it continues again.
Okay.
So you can buy yourself time with that, but not permanently.
Should I wait outside to not lock us out and re-enable it, maybe?
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Wait, who's coming in then?
I definitely am not. Good luck though.
I mean, if you stay here, I don't have to stay here. So are you staying here?
We can stay here.
But why should we stay here if you stay here?
Atsu, I think he's scared of being alone.
Oh, that's fine. Just
kidnapped again could be a good way to phrase this also, but
Slate?
Hatsu just draws a little smiley in the dust on the floor, and he looks at Adon and he says, "He's gonna take care of you. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
You got this."
So you guys are
Okay.
walking towards the end of the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You reach the end,
Wait,
and
wait.
it appears to be a doorway. It has... Oh, sorry, go ahead. What was I gonna say?
I was going to say, with LB just in front with the light orb.
Yeah. It's still ticking away, but with... when you reach the doorway, it does have an entry point that looks like a compass, the same thing as you had before. And this door is sealed. You can see the doorway clearly from this side, but it is sealed.
Oh, we have
So we have to take the one out the other end.
a problem. Oh. How much time do you think we have between the race?
We can work it out and calculate and see how long we got. I think the bigger issue might be that if we open this door, it might automatically shut the other one anyway. So if we're going to do this, I'd say we should do this collectively.
I agree.
I would
leader.
argue that we should keep it for later, after Eos has said hello to her mother. I don't know, we don't know where it ends, so what if we stuck there, nobody knows we here kind of thing? I mean, she will recognize the horses outside, I guess, but
True. But there's more horses than usual. It would be very suspicious.
my mother would slap the shit out of me if I would show up at home and don't say hello.
Okay.
Yep. Let's wait.
I don't think Burger Man is going to remember coming back and describing all of us. So I definitely think we should wait.
you're going back out of this place, or what are you doing?
I think we're heading out of the secret tunnel, back to the main undercroft.
No worries. Back you go.
Slate, what did you learn, friend?
When you come back, you find Slate has pieces of paper from his notebook torn out with lots of scribblings and kind of drawings of things like, let's say, a cog symbol, a moon symbol, arrows, all this different symbology, I suppose, and lots and lots of scribblings, and I'm just furiously writing. I'm going to stop from what I'm doing for a second and say, yes, I need to get this down while I can remember it. It's like a dream. I need to write it while it's present. We talked about repairing books earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Could we make these pages into a book? You said you know how to bind them. If I can create this and you help me bind it, then I can talk you through what I know. And I'm just going to keep scribbling really, really fast and just keep writing down all the information while it's super fresh in my mind, so that I don't lose any of it. I'm just focusing on jotting it all down so I don't misspeak or make a mistake, because there's been quite a lot of information that I've gained. So I'm just continuing to focus on writing. And this is like pages is coming out currently.
Do you know what it makes me think of?
Charlie Day with the
Transformers.
Oh, Transformers. Yeah.
When Shia LaBeouf touches the cube,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he's like, spewing out all this
Tons of
information. He's
stuff,
like, yeah.
Great reference, actually. Good movies. For the most part. Slate is like writing with both hands, ambidextrous. He's completely taking in information. He's about an inch from taking off his shoes and trying to write with his feet. He's trying to spew as much information down as humanly, physically possible. And he's going beyond the limits that he knew that he really could. He's writing with a newfound power.
As I'm writing, I'm starting to stack them and put them in groupings. So there's different symbology and different writings and different arrows and different texts. I'm starting to put them together, so we can try and bind it, stitch it, make it into some kind of book, as we said. So that way I can actually sit and pass on the information in a way that's, I suppose, chronological, but also in a way that can be read and followed, as opposed to the ramblings of a madman. So I'm writing it, but I'm trying to sequence it, and that's why I want to bind it, so that when Eos helps me to do that, it'll be usable information to her that she can study, decipher, work with, whatever she wants to do after the fact.
That's perfect. I'll do that. I need to head upstairs to cashier and see if there's one of those packs available. Yeah.
I'm going to gesture 2. I've never made one of these before, so I'll practice one first.
Oh, okay. Starts heading upstairs.
Slate begins to write with such ferocity that it almost looks as if he has additional arms. He's just writing so fast. Considered it due to a lack of potential concentration, or perhaps something else. Slate's form slowly changes to his gaunt shape, like taking in as much of Slate as possible. In the distraction, I don't think anybody notices, but just in case, I'll get a perception check from those in the room, not including Eos or Slate.
Hatsu for 15.
30, 20.
18.
Okay. All of you rolled really well, so maybe somebody notices. I'll go with Eldrin, because you rolled the highest. Everyone's watching Slate, but this is all just jargon to you. So you're glancing around and you notice Slate's backpack lying on the ground, open, and not containing the book that usually is sitting there, belonging to Bathros. The backpack looks relatively empty behind him. It has his usual rations and torture gear, but not the book.
Is the book standing up, laying down, leaning over to a side, look like it's been opened? And, for example, if the bag was upright, someone took something out of it and pulled away from a direction, and it fell over that direction. If you catch my drift, does it look like it's pointed off to a way someone may have been, or does it look like the book maybe is around Slate? Anything like that? Is there any visible form of trail that I can see?
There's no book, so to speak. There are books because this is the undercroft of a library that has books.
Yeah.
But that book is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. And the bag is virtually empty.
I mean, it's not empty because Slate has like it has everything it normally has. It's the same bundle it would be, just missing a rather large book that used to take up a majority of the space.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty empty compared. Yeah. Okay.
Can I have a look around here to see if it's been placed somewhere?
I would say if Eldrin notifies you, I only wanted to give it to one, if anyone, so I'll give it to Eldrin because he got the highest roll. But if he mentions it to you guys, for sure. Or at the moment, you're all pretty distracted by Slate's. Yeah. What Slate's doing is phenomenal at the moment. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever seen anything with someone drawing pictures and writing with ambidextrous style and barely looking at what he's doing, but it's perfect what he's doing. But Eldrin, you are free to tell whoever you want, for sure.
Yeah, if I see the book is not there, I'm definitely saying it to the guys. I'm just saying, did somebody take Slate's book? And I'm just not going to say it too loud to distract Slate, but I'm kind of going to go over to
I'll be honest,
Major
you can't distract Slate. He will not stop what he is doing.
Cool. I'm just going to turn to him and say, did any of you take Slate's book?
No, it's not there.
No, it's not in his bag.
He did read it in the card. Maybe he has it on him.
Can I
see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Major. I interrupted you earlier, so this is a good moment for that. Go ahead.
No, but yeah, so between us then, like, basically we're trying to work out where this book is, if he's sitting on it, if he's got it in his hand.
No check necessary. It is definitely not on his person.
Is it around the room? Like, has it been placed on something, like a plinth?
You can make a perception check. I would give 2, so someone can help you, or you can have it.
I'm gonna assist.
Okay, I'll give it to Hatsune Majorana because the Eldrin got the information, so why not let them?
I've got a few actually.
That's a 25.
Hatsune, go ahead, just in case.
Oh, what is going on with my road since weeks?
And that 1 for 7 is crazy. Hatsu, you definitely don't see the book. It's very hard for you to stop focusing on Slate, to be honest with you. There's something very entrancing about watching him do this. There's something...
Yeah, he makes me vibrate.
Okay, makes you vibrate. I am putting that in the story notes for a recap, that Hatsu was vibrating.
Yeah, because of he hold him, and you said his muscles still vibrating. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's the chosen one.
I get you right.
Yeah, you got it.
In terms of Slate, in terms of Slate writing with 2 hands, probably no one's ever thought about it. But as we know, he's been around a long time. But in all the time that he's being other people, depending on whether he's a right-handed or left-handed person, he writes right-handed or left-handed, has been practicing it for years and years and years. So actually, it shouldn't surprise anyone that I can write with 2 hands, but you probably haven't thought about it.
Genuinely makes sense. Yeah.
Slate continues writing. Hatsu, you don't find anything. Madriana, you do see the book. Across the room, sitting in front of a symbol you found on the wall when you walked in here to begin with. Just laying there flat on the floor, like a child staring up at it almost.
Open.
Closed.
I walk over and using my boot, I will start sliding it back towards the bag.
You put your foot on it and you start moving it back. It doesn't come with you. Like a coin glued to the ground, it sits there tauntingly and teasingly, enticingly wanting to be picked up. But you can't move it.
So then I'll just lean down and say, either you fucking move, or I tear you to fucking pieces. Your
Book
choice.
falls open. And a smoke begins to emerge from the book. It slowly begins to fill the room.
Okay, fuck it, I'm just doing this. I grab my blade and I stab it straight through the middle of the page.
As you do,
shit.
you stab down. The blade goes in as if this is not pages but a doorway. Surrounding the arc of the blade, the curve of the blade, I should say, is almost like this purple energy that feels like life, like death, like consciousness, and like dream. The smoke begins to take an ethereal form. Not of Vathros, however. It begins to take the form of Westlin as he steps from the book slowly. Not quite present, not quite missing. From his arms, you can see ink, writing, moving up along his tattoos, along his actual skin, as if he was made from the pages themselves. He looks different, more confident. But from here on out, I'll let John take over.
His foot falls upon the floor and a spray of flora springs from the floor. And with each step, as his body materializes into a more physical form, the flora takes on less of a otherworldly prismatic coloring and more of a physical relatable flora, something that you may have seen somewhere in your travels here in Arboris. And as the foot lifts from the ground and lands ahead of the other foot, the flora dissipates in like a puff of smoke, almost winks out of existence. He doesn't register that you're here immediately. It's as if he sees this room and somewhere else. And as his eyes lock on to your eyes, it's as if he sees you and others besides yourselves. It looks like he's looking for something or someone until he finally rests his gaze on Eos. And with a a slight smile, dips his head. You are the one called Eos. I found you.
You found me in my own home, Wes.
Yes.
How?
I was supposed to.
So good to see you, old friend.
Two things occur. One, Adriana, you still have your dagger just in the page at this point. You're like looking up at Wes. This is like you've seen the kind of artifacts and things that your father uses, but this is something else. Definitely a rare moment where you're caught off guard. Chicken, who has been relatively missing, present but missing, appears running towards Westland and curls into Westland again, taking on once again the orange hue rather than the white.
You have many more people here. Eos.
These are also your friends. Adriana, Atsu, Slate. We have a
Slate
new friend.
has no idea this is happening.
We have a new friend that you must meet. His name is Aldrin. He can fly.
These are the ones that you showed me in your trance.
Yeah. I still thank you for that.
For what?
And that was quite the adventure. I didn't know I could twist and turn my history before me.
Because you were young. Come to master it in time.
How have you been?
I don't understand the question. What do you mean?
From last time we met till now, how was your day, Wes?
The day has not yet ended. Has been an unending day.
Would you like tea?
Yes. I will have tea. He will turn to look back at the book and the miasma that comes from the book. With maybe a slightly lengthy look, a slow nod. Then turns its back to it to follow Eos.
So is it spring, Westland?
It is early for spring. It's strange. Spring has come early. In the previous dream, there was no summer. Something is misaligned.
I'm just
Maybe
happy
you know.
to see you after your winter days. That winter broke my heart, I guess.
You should find no sorrow in winter. Winter is but the beginning of spring.
I understand that now, I guess. Good to see you, friend.
I'm sorry, but what is your name?
Name is Toshitsugu Hatsu.
Shitsugu Hatsu. I am one counted among the kin who has been named Westland.
Aye. The one that sends the witches to the sea.
No. No, I am merely counted among them. That is not for my... That is not for those like myself to send those to sea. Maybe someday.
Aye.
Goose comes running down the stairwell. Her skin changing from the purple to the grayish hue, features sharpening. Yes.
I had a dream about this place once, Eos.
Yes. We were there.
Someone so young, your trance is very strong.
Thanks to you.
I have nothing to do with it.
Your tattoos.
Sorry?
Your tattoos are impressive.
Thank you. They've always been there. So what day is it today?
That's a very good question.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
No, it is Saturday. It's 1543 Frostspire.
There you go.
Thanks, Beth. I close the calendar when I open the foundry.
While that's all happening, I'm going to shut the book
How?
with my blades.
I heard you already try to begin with that. Okay.
I'm going to wrap the book and I'm going to put it in my backpack.
Okay. Interesting. For context, because this may come up, Slate, you have no idea that has happened.
I'm going to send that object to you now, so you have it.
Okay.
That
I'm
object. Sus.
I'm also going to try and chip the symbol on the wall for that particular person.
Okay. You take a dagger to it, and it does indeed chip away. Like you definitely can take chunks out of this if you wish.
Yeah, I basically want to scar the symbol.
Yeah. You put a... What shape would you like the scar to be? Thunderbolt for Harry Potter.
We've seen the symbol,
Lightning
but
bolt.
I can't remember what it looks like myself. What does it look like?
Symbol itself, I can get it for you now, just a moment. It is it's very jagged, like it's quite a few lines in a set shape, but I will get it for you now. It's basically 3 prongs going downward from an extending point in the middle. I'm going to show you what is technically the symbol to the unnamed one. If I can get this working in Foundry. It's taking a second. Okay, you guys carry on for a sec, but I'll get you this in a second. Major, I'll come back to you now in just 1 second, okay?
No worries.
So Wes, you're actually here.
Well, I've always been here.
How did you travel by book?
You don't know how to do that. You're surrounded by them.
Oh man, it's amazing. It's great to see you. Here, here's some tea.
Thank you.
Peppermint tea.
Had tea in a while.
Here you go. Sorry.
Water.
Took me a second to pull this in, but for those listening to the podcast, it's a triangular symbol with 3 specific points to it and a line that goes across. The line going vertically goes higher with extra points coming out. That probably makes no sense. I'm sorry, but if you check the website for the unnamed one, you will see this picture there as well. In the meantime, here you go, players.
Nice.
Wouldn't recommend, though, taking that route until you're certain you're ready.
How did you know that you were ready?
The only way through the thorns is through them.
That's true. How long has it been for you
What do you mean?
on your journey in the book?
Day that never ended. 1,000 lifetimes.
You need some rest?
No. I've rested long enough. It's spring now. Well, it shouldn't be what it is. Maybe you know something about this?
A little
Well,
bit. She goes up to Wes and just embraces him, and little tears side of her eyes.
He looks very confused, but rolls with it. Who are these other companions of yours, Eos?
Friends, mighty warriors, good people.
Mighty warriors.
Atsu. And Mage.
Are they like you?
No,
Did they touch the reverie?
I don't believe so. Good
Humans-
the embrace. Mostly, kind of.
You keep interesting company, Eos.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if on cue, Slate stands up, walks towards Eldrin, and before he can react, he pushes Eldrin to the wall, reaches into his pocket, and takes something that he's been hanging onto. And then he walks over to Madriana, who's carving into the wall, and he slams it against the wall. It begins to ignite in a purple lighting, a purple shape.
Right into my wall.
No response from Slate. The wall begins to... well... it begins to ignite in a very bright glowing purple, not unlike Eos's purple, in the shape of the symbol that was on the wall. And through those lines become cracks. And almost like a jagged teeth-like shape, begin to move down and up until a small cubby is revealed with a book within it.
Eos looks around just to see if there's any damage to the rest of the books. Some slight concern for her, personal inventory.
No damage.
Good.
But Slate picks up that book.
Oh.
Actually, before he goes to pick that book up,
Yeah.
because I was stood there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attempt to stop Slate with the full assumption that I'm probably just going to get pushed out the way because he's not of himself right now. And I know I'm going to fucking regret this, but I grabbed the book first.
You grab the book. Slate's eyes disappear. The veins start to throb on his head. He moves with an unnerving and uncanny speed to try and take it from you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Yo.
I knew this was bullshit. Well, that's a 22.
You barely dodge out of the way and hang on to the book. Slate begins to move towards you, and there's a moment of just like, what the hell? And he stops. He looks towards you. No eyes, but his face faces you. He then turns towards Eos, and he points. You look down at the book.
Mm-hmm.
The book itself has a very specific name, we'll say. The Truth Behind the Silence, a tribute to the unnamed one.
Mm-hmm.
The year 1540. Written by Vitor Lash. Slate, you walk over. You crouch down and pick up the staff and gather the pages. You push the pages into Eos. You put the staff in her hand.
The stuff that was.
The staff that was.
Yo.
Eos, as you take this staff, your backpack across the room flies open and the scales emerge. Unusual, considering you left them at the Arcanum.
Correctamundo.
And they move towards you. They begin ticking. They twist. And they turn until they are sitting perfectly level in front of you. For a split second, they find their balance. And then again, it loses skew. There's a tremendous weight coming from the staff. And the moon begins to glow. And again, you hear this ticking. You've heard this ticking before. Tick, tick, tick. Your gaze is pulled towards Westland.
The only way through the thorns is through.
Which direction was?
You know the direction you need to go.
She takes the book.
You take the book, and almost by instinct, as you move the scepter, the staff, as you move it down, the moon glows and it tears a line, what looks like a streak of light, a thread, through the air. Slate, without hesitation, walks towards it, and as it rips open, he walks through.
Weston zips his head and walks through.
We're going in.
You all going?
Hell yeah!
Of course, it's the fucking Wandering Isles.
Everyone's
Eltrin-
going then.
Eldrin, you run and you quickly grab everyone's backpacks because you're probably the only one I think of who would actually think of that. You take all of the backpacks and everything, except for Madriana, who says she has hers. You grab everything. I'm sure Hatsu will be prepared as well. As they all walk through,
Hang on.
I usher Dash through. I'm like, come on, stop looking at yourself in the mirror. Come on.
oh my god, there's a door here? I didn't even realize.
Just been rubbing his nips the whole time.
I've got the one book in my backpack, right?
You do?
The other book.
I think
That
it's
was
just given to Eos, I think, if she just took the book, but I'm not sure if you resisted that in some way.
Well, it got taken off me, right? Because Slate went for me, but I dodged him, but then it got taken off me anyway. I don't think a Madriana would go through.
Interesting. As the rest of the party...
Can I add something to that?
Yeah?
If Hatsu would recognize her hesitation, he would just turn towards her and go, "We in this together. We strong in numbers."
If they're all working for someone that's darker, we're not together.
We're the only ones that can shed bright light in their darkness. I need you, Amy.
You don't want this, but you're going to get it. Just don't blame me when this goes wrong. And I'll step through.
It's the fucking cat line and wine mixer. Let's go.
Hatsu, as you step through as well, Eos, you have to hang back for just a moment, as your staff is all that keeps this open. And as you begin to step through, you just hear, Eos? As your mother descends the stairs. But it's just too late. The doorway closes as your mother stepped behind you. But it was just moments too late. And Adriana, you've never been here before.
I'm in so much trouble.
Hatsu, you've never been here before. Slate, hard to tell, but you are back in your own form. Westland, maybe in a dream. More recently, for sure. Eldrin, you've definitely heard of this place, but whether or not you've been here, I believe you have. But Eos, to you I simply say welcome to Ashrest. You are standing in Desolata, in the biggest training grounds of the military. There are ships docked, one of which has a Chimera flag upon it, and there is a storm rolling in. You stand here, the military training, you can hear swords clashing. You can see ships ready. A whole new mission begins for them. But you recognize that you do not have much time left. Eos, you went to meet your mother, but I think, more pertinently, it's time to meet your father. Next week, in the Wandering Isles.
Oh, man!
But for now, I think there's something else you have to meet.
Yep. I've played Mass Effect. I've met the Reapers before.
Mr. Rory and Mr. Kyle, it's time. We will be back in 5 minutes, where our friends here are going to consume some Ripa Peppers, and then we will see what happens.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. Those of you who are the podcast listeners, we appreciate you. If you want to see the pepper thing, it will be in the post show of this episode. Same for YouTube. Thank you so much. But those of you on Twitch, it will be a short break of just 5 minutes. We will be right back, and you may watch the chaos ensue. If you are not continuing with us, thank you so much for being here. I've removed chat from myself, but I did catch a few things that there were a few. There was a raid. Thank you so much. There was some follows and tons of subs and all sorts of stuff going on. Thank you all so much. We love you and appreciate you very, very much. We're looking forward to continuing this next week on the Wandering Isles. But until then, we shall see you. Be right back with some peppers.